So, short live. Testing. All right, cool. All right, everybody. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, so figured I would do one. Got several updates for you guys, but obviously nobody has joined the chat just yet. Oh, someone joined. What's going on, everyone? So, figured I'd give you guys this live chat. It's been a long time. I think, 4 or 5 months I've done a live stream. A little bit tired, but still want to do a live stream nonetheless to give you guys some updates in regards to the channel instead of just doing like a community poll. I guess the first thing I'll mention is that in regards to the channel itself, I know each month I do catch up videos where I talk about all the movies that I saw that month. I'm actually thinking about stopping that. Not in the middle of the year, obviously. I'm thinking about 2024 onwards. That's when I'm not going to be doing that. T-Boss79, hey Chad, hey T, how you doing, man? Um, Hopefully you're having a good night, good Monday, as good as Monday can be, right? Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking about 2024. I'm just thinking about where all the new movies. I'll just write my reviews the way I normally do on Letterboxd, and then um, if there's like a certain movie that I want to talk about more in depth on my channel, then I'll do so. But other than that, I'm just thinking about next year, just having it where, in terms of new films, just random reviews, and then of course top 10 worst, top 10 best, and then that's it. Just because it's a lot, I don't know how I did it 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know how some people still do it, where they're talking about new movies, seeing 100 plus new movies, and then reviewing it as soon as it comes out, like a 5-10 minute video. I used to be able to do that. It's just it's a lot now. It's gotten to be a lot, and that's why I was like, oh, I'll do the catch up videos. But now even the catch up videos, it's like still a lot to maintain. T-Bob, it's Tuesday now in Wales, but I've got a day off, so it's all good. Oh, dude, that's awesome. I always forget that my subscribers are all over the world. That's one of the reasons why my traffic on my channel, it's always and for me, the early morning, which is why my director ranking videos, I release them at 2 a.m. because I'm like, okay, if it's 2 a.m. here, I'm sure somewhere it's like either nighttime or later on in the day, whatever the case may be. So that's one of the reasons why I release the director ranking videos. But Wales, I've never been to Wales. I've heard it's really nice though. Other thing I just wanted to mention is, and this is something that I've wanted to do for quite some time, but I finally pulled the trigger and I filmed it a couple weeks ago, and I'll be releasing it soon. But I did a top 10 films that have always been perfect. Self-explanatory. You've always given this film a 5 out of 5 star rating throughout the duration of time. Something that's no easy feat, and I'm sure many other movie buffs will feel the same. Where it's like sometimes you'll watch a movie and you'll give it a 3.5, then you'll rewatch it multiple times, then eventually it's a 5 out of 5. These are the movies where it doesn't take rewatching for it to be a 5 out of 5. So I actually have that one filmed, and if that one does well and has a good reception and everything, then I actually do have a part 2 and 3 planned, which is funny because only 30 movies of the several thousand on Letterboxd that I've, put down, only like 30 are ones where it's like 5 out of 5 always. So it's not too much. But looking forward to releasing that. And then, and this is something that has been 2.5 years in the making, but I also have, I released my top 25 favorite films of all time 2.5 years ago, which is crazy to think that it was that long ago, but it was. I'm kicking myself because I said I was going to do my top 26 to 100 and release that in 3 parts. Well, I finally got around to filming my part 2. So my number 26 to 50, I will try to release pretty soon. And then I think tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to try to film my number 51 to 75. It's not easy. It's not easy, like looking at all the movies you love and then trying to rank them. It's just not easy. Um, but I'm trying to do that because I feel like that's a lot of fun not only to do, stressful, albeit, but fun. And then also, I think for you guys, it will also be something that would be pretty cool to see. So I have that planned out, and then I have one more 1990s Best Picture nominee film to watch. After I'm done watching that, I will then be able to film all of the 1990s Best Picture nominees. Like each year, rank the nominees, similar to what I'm doing right now with my 2000s. I have right now 2000 2022 all filmed, and it's coming out every 2 weeks. So the goal is probably that one Best Picture nominee I need to watch, which is Awakenings. Watch that within a week or two, and then after that, then film all the 90s, and then have that ready for the second half of next year. So I'm trying to think ahead and everything. Not easy with some of these, but I'm hoping so that way you guys will have like a lot of content and everything. Tyler Van, hello there. The name sounds familiar. I feel like Tyler, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like I see a lot of your Letterboxd stuff. I could be wrong, but am I correct? I feel like I see a lot of your stuff, and you do a lot of director ranking stuff. I'm pretty sure, in particular, Peter Ware. I was supposed to pronounce it Peter Ware, Peter Ware. But I've seen a lot. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you're the one that I see a lot of your reviews, because a lot of people I follow don't really watch Peter Ware films. But then I was like, oh, Tyler Van has. I could be wrong. Let me fact check myself. 1 second. T-Bob, hi Tyler. Glad we got some interaction in the chat. Last time I had one, there really wasn't. When I finally hit 1,000 subscribers, like, oh, I'll do a live stream, and there was like nobody. I was like, oh man. But to be fair, I think I was just so used to at the beginning of the pandemic, there was just so much discussion in the live streams that I would do, and then it was like, now at this point, it's like, not as much, but still something I want to do. T-Bob, Witness is great. Yes, I really liked Witness. That's actually something I wanted to let you guys know too. Now I have my YouTube channel pulled up. Sorry, I'm doing multiple things. My director ranking list. I'm actually very proud of myself. With my director ranking list, I have all the videos filmed up until July of next year. And since you guys are on the live stream, I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. So, as you guys know, I released up until December of this year, like what it's going to look like. Well, I'll give you guys what January to July is going to look like for next year. So January, Andrei Tarkovsky's films I filmed and ranked. So you guys will be seeing that. Tom Hooper, his films, or like movies, that will be February. Paul Feig, his movies also will be March. John Hillcoat, April, and Peter Ware will be May, and then Tony Scott will be June, and then July, Rob Zombie. So I still have 5 more directors I have to get through for next year, but that's what I'm trying to do. Again, I know I've said it before in my other videos, but I do really want to emphasize it. It's not easy going through a director's list, like their filmography, finding it in all different like places. It's a lot, but it's like once you finish it, feels so good. Tyler Van, yeah, you're right. Thanks a lot. I really enjoy all your director rankings. Okay, good. No, I'm glad. I thought that was you. I wasn't 100% sure, but I was like, I agreed with a lot of honestly your thoughts. Like it was funny because when I was watching Fearless, the first half I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but the second half, holy cow, that really brought it together. It's funny too because I've been thinking about the Fearless, like especially the last 10 minutes. I was like, holy cow, that was really good. I already want to rewatch it. And Mosquito Coast, I actually think is pretty good too. River Phoenix, R.I.P. He was fantastic, man. Like when you watch that film, you're like, okay, I understand why they cast him in Indiana Jones: Last Crusade, no question. Tyler Van, do you think Cats ruined Tom Hooper's career? Not really, to be honest with you. I think that he was, since I've seen all of his work, I can say it. He was always a pretty safe studio kind of director. I mean, honestly, his best work isn't even in his filmography. It's in his TV side, in my opinion, which is John Adams. I thought John Adams was really good. But his movies they all feel very bland. Like even The King's Speech, I liked it when I first saw it, but when I rewatched it for the director ranking list, I just wasn't a big fan of the way that he directed. And I don't know if maybe there was like the whole bias of this directing is what beat David Fincher's directing The Social Network, really, or Darren Aronofsky's directing in Black Swan, or the Coen Brothers directing in True Grit, really. I don't know if it was that, but I don't know. I think Tom Hooper will get work eventually, but Cats, man, what a terrible movie. As you can already probably tell, I'm not a big Tom Hooper fan. Um, in fact, there were a couple of directors that I ranked, for next year, and it was just like I wasn't a big fan of their work. Like Paul Feig, a lot of his work, I struggled with, man. I really did. Same with Rob Zombie. I really do have to give props to people that are a huge fan of Rob Zombie's like movies because I wasn't able to really resonate with his style. So I'm already expecting a lot of dislikes in regards to my Rob Zombie ranking list. But I completed it, gosh darn it, except for his animated film. But I saw some places people considered it a video, not a movie. So I was just like, whatever. I'm not gonna consider it like a movie because I can't even find it anywhere. It's like near impossible to find. And I just haven't been sailing the seven seas as much. So I'm just like, screw it. But man, it's such a shame. Also, in terms of director ranking lists, Yorgos Lanthimos. I found Alps. I've just been trying to find the right mood to watch Alps in, and then there were a couple other directors that I'm looking. I had it like all planned out. Let me go to my letterbox. I have on my letterbox private lists. Let me just find it real quick. 1 second. Okay, so okay. So I was thinking about. Oh no, that wasn't next year. My bad. Sorry, I was gonna. Okay, David Lowery. I was thinking about ranking his films. Well, next year I should say. I've seen 4 of his films. I still have 3 more of his to watch. Um, let's see. Ben Affleck already did. Anton Fuqua already did. Sorry, I'm just going down the list. Oh, Oliver Stone. So Oliver Stone, there's a couple of his films I still need to watch, but I can't find them on any streaming platforms or at my local library. So I'm gonna have to like rent them, which is fine. I get it. But Oliver Stone, I want to rank his like I'm trying. Like I said, I have 3 or 4 more of his movies to go through, and then I'll rank them. But that will be for next year. And then him, Yorgos Lanthimos. Oh, Park Chan Wook. Hopefully I pronounced that right. He's another director. I only have 2 films of his left: Thirst and what's the robot film called? Thirst and where is it? Sorry, Letterboxd now. And Homicide Work, but that's okay. Those are the 2 films I need to watch of his. But it's funny because even with 2 more of his films to watch, like I consider him to be one of my favorite directors because he has Old Boy, Handmaid, um, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, and Decision to Leave that I think are absolutely incredible. And JSA, I thought was also great. Lady Vengeance. I mean, he has 6 films that are incredible. That's insane. Um, Catherine Bigelow. She has 2 films that I'm also trying to look for. I can't really find, but I am looking to. Once I watch those 2, I'm looking to do. So I think that covers for next year, though, in terms of the director ranking list. So you guys will have those to look forward to. And the poll that I did, I know I put this in the community tab, but the community poll that I did um, several months ago, the winner was John Carpenter. So that one I already ranked with my friend Sergey. We collaborated on that, and so that's going to be released this December. So looking forward for you guys to see that. I'm excited to because I'm very excited. I think mostly just because John Carpenter, I feel like is a director where the ranking is going to be so different for everyone. Like I'm sure there's going to be some people where it's like the thing is going to be the number 1 or Halloween or Assault on Precinct 13. It's going to vary. It's going to be pretty cool though. So I'm excited about that. And then also I mentioned the 1990s Academy Award Best Picture nominees. I'm also going to be doing the 1980s. I think it's like 20 some 1980s Best Picture nominees that I still have to watch, but I'm looking forward to do that. But that won't be until probably 2025 in terms of me releasing on YouTube. But wanted to let you guys know about that. T-Bob 79. I hope Big Trouble in Little China does high. Well, I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil it. That's for sure. But rest assured, it's going to be second week of December. I have it where second Saturday at 2 a.m. each month. I release my director ranking list, and then every 2 weeks, I think it's on Saturdays. I believe every 2 weeks. That's when I release the Academy Award videos. Because honestly, those two, the director and the Academy, those are the ones that I love doing, and that's why I'm just glad that it's gotten positive reception from you guys. Because it's like I love doing this, so it works out. Tyler Van, what you said about Fearless is how I felt about Old Boy when I first watched it. I didn't get super into the first half, but the second half and ending was great. That's fair, honestly, because the first half of Old Boy, it's like, okay, what exactly is this? So I get that. Although I can't lie, Old Boy, I immediately loved Old Boy because I was just like, I love those films where it's like you have no clue what's going on, and then the layers are peeled back slowly, and by the end you're like, oh wow, that was amazing. And speaking of Old Boy, it's getting re-released in theaters. I think it's August 16th. They did a 4K restoration, so I'm definitely going to be watching that in theaters. I'm really, really crossing my fingers and hoping that it gets a 4K physical media release because normally I would say yes, it's a slam dunk that it's going to be released on 4K, hands down. But Neon is the one that's producing it, and Neon they've been terrible with physical media. They really have. It's actually just kind of ridiculous. Um, like How to Blow Up a Pipeline, they still don't have it released on Blu-ray or 4K. I know they released on DVD, but really, like, come on, it's 2023. So just sorry, mini ramp. It's frustrating. So I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping Old Boy gets a 4K release because as it stands, I own it on Blu-ray, but it's one of the older Blu-rays, so you can tell that the transfer needs a bit of work. Um, but I feel like even if slash when it gets a 4K release on physical media, I'll probably still keep the Old Boy Blu-ray because it's part of the Vengeance trilogy. So it has Lady Vengeance and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, and I don't think either of those will get a 4K release. So I definitely need to still keep those. Um, and just throw it out there if Tyler and T Bob and anyone else listening, if you haven't seen Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance or Lady Vengeance, highly recommend you watch both. Lady Vengeance, what's especially important about that movie, if you do watch, is to make sure you watch the I think it's called the Fade to White edition or Fade to Black edition. I think it's Fade to White. But watch that because that is what really hits home the themes and messages. Such a great films, I should say. They're both great. I don't know. His directing just really brings a lot out of me. I love watching him. I think he's an incredible director. Just very, very talented. Decision to Leave also, it's kind of interesting because he directed that and I loved that film. It was my favorite film last year. But just seeing a lot of people's thoughts on it, on like people that I follow on Letterboxd, it's like a lot of people are just like, it's just okay. And I'm like, really? It's just okay? Like I thought it was fantastic. The editing alone, the cinematography, just the presentation of that film was just incredible. And the actual story and romance and the ending, Decision Leaves perfection, man. Ah. So what are you guys watching though? T Bob, I don't know. Your name sounds familiar, but T Bob, are you on Letterboxd out of curiosity? Because I know Tyler, I know I follow you, but want to hear your guys what you guys are watching on Letterboxd. T Bob, I've seen Old Boy and Sympathy, but not Lady Vengeance. We'll have to search it out. Definitely, dude. Lady Vengeance is it's quite something. It's really quite something, and I don't want to spoil, like I said, the cinematography presentation of the Fade to White, but the presentation of the cinematography is so important in that edition. It really is. It's what hits home the themes and messages. Please do track it down because it is quite an experience. Don't want to overhype it, but it is a great film and definitely worth your time. And I feel like not many people talk about it that much. Like I said, I got lucky because I got the trilogy, and the only reason why I got the trilogy is because it was cheaper than just buying Old Boy by itself. So I was like, oh screw it, I'll just buy the trilogy. Glad I did because I ended up scoring three fantastic films. Comments. I only joined Letterboxd a couple of days ago. Haven't posted anything yet. Have commented here before though. I definitely remember Green Forest Gump does nothing for me either. That's why your name sounds familiar, but are we following each other on Letterboxd or I'll have to check. But yeah, Forrest Gump. It's interesting because there's there's so much love for that film, and I like part of me says that I wish that I was on that camp of loving it, but then the other part of me is like, no, not really. Like especially just seeing the other films that came out that year, and then especially the other Best Picture nominees, it's going to be hell to pay when I rank the 1994 Best Picture nominees because you already know that 90% of the audience is not going to like it. T-Bob, no, I don't think so. Oh, I'll have to let me look it up on Letterboxd then 1 second. Because yeah, I post on Letterboxd all the time. I honestly ever since I found out about the app and started using it, it's been honestly amazing. Um, I hope that you like it too. Actually, you might have to look me up because I'm not finding you on there. Yeah, you'll have to follow. Yeah, yeah. Mine is my username, just Chad Saborn. You'll be able to find me like right away. I would say. I think how many subscribers do I? I mean, not subscribers, followers, subscribers. Followers was just so you know which one. I think 375 and over 2,800 films I've seen. Holy cow, it's a lot. uh, yeah, we'll do. Awesome, man. Now, what have you seen recently, T Bob? Like, in regards to it, Tyler Van. What was the hardest director ranking you've done? Um, I think off the top of my head, I would have to say Gaspar Noah, and the reason being him or Lars von Trier. And I think mostly Gaspar Noah though, because Lars von Trier, I kind of figured that it was going to be one of those situations where there wasn't going to be a universal respect from everyone. I get that. It's fine. Whatever. But with Gaspar Noah, I just seeing how people react to his films on Letterboxd, I was actually kind of nervous because I was like, okay, so this is going to be kind of like the Lars von Trier fan base. Got it. Where it's like if you just think one of their films is okay or solid and you're saying that in a ranking, then they're not going to be happy. So it's like it's just kind of having that caveat of, look, everyone's got their own opinion. I don't exactly think that Gaspar Noé is an incredible auteur. I think that he's a good director. Some of his films hit, some of them don't. Just one of those things. I don't know. It's when you have those directors that are polarizing, that's when you have a reaction that might not be something that you want. Because for me, it's like obviously I always say like everyone has different opinions and that there's going to be positive and negative feedback. I get that, but there are some directors where it's like you already know in the bag where it's like there's going to be some, you're going to look and you're going to see that there's like this universal love and respect from some directors, like Steven Spielberg, Tim Burton, those directors. If you look at my comment section, it's very positive. Like everyone, even though everyone's ranking is so different, it's so positive. But then you see Lars von Trier, and it's just like it's ugly, man. It's like what the heck? It's like who peed in their Cheerios? Like what the heck's going on here? So to answer your question, sorry, it's long winded, Tyler. I know, but Gaspar Noé, I would say. And to be honest, though, the actual feedback of Gaspar Noé's ranking, not bad actually. But yeah, I would say that one was the hardest. I would say that was the hardest, but I would also say what's the most frustrating is that when I ranked Scorsese's films, I because I write down everything. I forgot. I don't know how I did this, but I forgot to put Shutter Island, and so it was one of those things where I filmed it and everything, and I didn't realize until a long, long time after, like a couple years, I was like, "Oh no!" Like I forgot Shutter Island on there. I was like, "What the heck?" And it was something that's bothered me. I'm thinking about re-ranking Scorsese's work, and I'm thinking about doing that with certain directors, where it's like a re-ranking. Because if you see my videos, you know it. Like when I first started doing those videos, it was like one of those things where I didn't have pictures, I didn't even have like the text and everything, but over the progress of time, I have added both of those things. So I don't know. T Bob 79. I've been watching loads of Volcan movies. Managed to get uncut Australian Blu-ray of Death Wish 1. Oh no, Death Wish 2 and 3 and Revenge of the Ninja on VHS. Probably need to watch something a bit more cerebral next. Hey man, I get it. Honestly, is Death Wish 2 and 3 worth it? Because this is gonna be a hot take. I didn't like Death Wish. I didn't. But here's a hotter take. This is when I'll probably get thrown off the internet. I actually liked Death Wish 2018. Saw it in theaters, saw it again on demand, and then I own it on Blu-ray now, and I've seen it a couple times since. I, I like it. I like that. I like the movie. I'm sorry, but I don't know. I didn't like the original. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset, but I did not like the original Death Wish. Um, Tyler Vania, I get you. T Bob 79, Killer of the Flower Moon looks amazing, so it could be a good opportunity soon. It's a good it's a good point. You make a good point. Especially because holy cow, Scorsese, there's like a respect level in that comment section, but there's also like a passiveness to me not having Goodfellas in my top three. And it is actually kind of hilarious. Tyler and T-Bob Reed from Australia. T-Bob 79, they're not great movies, but they're a lot of dumb fun. T-Bob 79, no Tyler from Wales. So what I love about you guys, I have such a you know subscriber base that's all around the world, which I think is pretty cool because I get a lot of different takes, from everyone. And I know sometimes I'm late to getting around to, commenting back when you guys comment. I do apologize about that. Just sometimes, like, I'll look at it and then I don't know if you guys on YouTube, like, also are YouTubers or whatnot, or even if you just use the app casually. But when you go on YouTube, if you click on the notification, or you click on like the notification on your phone, it disappears. So then it's like you don't have that reminder, and that's something I need. So that's why sometimes I'm a bit late to commenting, or sometimes I just won't comment back, and I'm just like feel terrible. That's why I can never be a big YouTuber. I don't know how they do it. Millions of comments, and meanwhile, me, it's like 10, 15 comments, and I have a difficult time. Gotta love it. But guys, I'm kind of curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Have any of you guys seen Cleopatra? Because right before I did this, this live stream, I actually just finished that. Curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Oh, cool. So I was just reading a comment. Tyler Van, I haven't sadly. Um, I'd say part of me wants to say just keep it that way because it was kind of excruciating to watch, but at the same time, it was kind of hilarious to watch because it's like, oh yeah, this movie's 4 hours long, and a lot of people nowadays are saying, oh, movies are getting too long. Like, why can't it be back like in the olden days? Because there wasn't an entire genre called the epic genre that was for specifically 4 hour movies. But I don't know. I didn't like Cleopatra. I really didn't. I loved the filmmaking. I thought the filmmaking was splendid. But when I got outside of that and I was just thinking about the characters, the romance, the length, the pacing, there's just so many issues. There really is. But I was just curious because, again, looking on Letterboxd, there's a lot of interesting takes where, like, I have some people that gave it a 1.5 out of 5, and other people that gave it a 5 out of 5. I'm like, wow, this is kind of polarizing, isn't it? T-Bob, yeah, Richard Burton is a legend. Where I'm from, the sets and costumes are amazing, but it's overlong and very boring. Yeah, I'm with you. It reminded me of honestly Alexander. yeah, which I know Alexander came after, but I saw Alexander first several months ago. And it's just one of those things where it's like I love history. I love those kind of films like costume, period piece, political dramas, but holy cow, like those movies are just so dull. Like just so frustrating, man. It really was. Tyler Rand, yeah, 4 hours is crazy. I watched Spartacus yesterday, enjoyed a bunch of it, but it felt so long at 3 hours. Dude, yeah. So Spartacus, I wasn't a big fan of Spartacus the first time, and I think my issue with Spartacus the first time was that I saw Gladiator first, and I wasn't able to appreciate the fact that Spartacus was, if you didn't have Spartacus, you wouldn't have had Gladiator. But now I'm able to look at both films and be like, okay, they can both exist, and they're both really good films. I still do prefer Gladiator, which I know is like a hate crime, but I also do quite like Spartacus. I own both on 4K. I do think it's interesting though, Stanley Kubrick working in the studio system, and you can definitely see that. Um, Fluffy Bunny 242, yo, what's up, dude? Spartacus, Blood and Sand clears. I still need to watch the TV show Spartacus, but the movie I really like. I think that Kirk Douglas did such a good job in that lead role. And that movie slaps in 4K. Like, holy cow. Going from watching it on the library DVD to then just 4K physical media, just outstanding. Really, really good stuff. Honestly, I hope we get more like period pieces like that. I know that it's not something that makes a lot of money, although who knows? Oppenheimer, I guess technically was a period piece, 1940s. Brought in a lot of money, so who knows? Hope so. Oh man. Sorry, guys. Thought I saw something. But yeah, T-Bob, going back to with what you were saying, Richard Burton, he really is amazing. But I think, I think the biggest takeaway of me finally seeing Cleopatra was I was just by the halfway mark. I was like, I so just want to rewatch Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which also stars Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. And I'm like, and that's a film that is 2 hours, but I was so engaged by when I saw it 9 years ago. So I'm like, I just want to rewatch that instead of finishing Cleopatra. But I endured it. Puffy Bunny 242. I was looking for something to watch. You're on YouTube, dude. Hope you love Michigan so far, man. I'm rooting for you, man. Um, dude, forgot to ask you. Did you watch Barbie yet? I know you watched Oppenheimer. I saw Oppenheimer twice. And second time, loved it even more. 5 out of 5 now. Social Network beats JFK. Beautiful, just beautiful. I don't see another film beating it this year. We're seeing it tomorrow probably. Dude, awesome. I think you're gonna really like it. I gave it a 4 to 5. I thought it was quite good. Easy breezy, fun time at the movies. There were some scenes, dude, that I was cracking up. I think you'll enjoy yourself. Now, it's not on the level of Lady Bird, obviously, but it's still good stuff. T-Bob79, have you seen Carry On Cleo? They used a lot of the same costume and sets as Cleopatra because they were left over in the studio and were worth reusing in that peculiar Carry On way, of course. I haven't seen Carry On Cleo. No, I have. Is that another one of the epics? Because I'm to be honest with you, there are some epics I just haven't seen yet. Um, so I crossed Cleopatra off the list now, but I know what is it, El Cid? I know I still need to watch that, and then I also know that I should rewatch Gone with the Wind because it's been like a decade, and I feel like I would probably like it even more now. Fluffy Bunny 242. I heard it was good, but a bit preachy. Um, yeah, I mean, it's hard in the right place though. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like there's like a monologue, and it's one of those things where it's like one could argue it's preachy, but just it's such a good message that I was just like, yeah, I'll take it. I don't know. That's how I am though. It's like sometimes if something is preachy, if it's done really well, then I'm like, okay, I'll like it. But if it's done not well, that's when I'm like, eh. Excuse me. T Bob. Never show how people from outside the UK view Carry On movies. It's fair. It's a long running British comedy film series from the 50s to 70s originally. Somebody Innuendo, Sid James, Barbara Windsor, etc. British comedy is something that I always find that I'll watch it, but I always have to be in the right mindset. Um, like when I first saw, for example, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the first time I saw it, I did not like it. But when I was in the right mindset and rewatched it the second time, really dug it, really quite liked it. Um, not Who Framed, what's it called? Uh, it's called Wanda. That I finally saw like several years ago, and I liked that a bit too. But I think my favorite British comedy, off the top of my head at least, would probably be like Hot Fuzz. I love that film. I think that's such a good job of parodying like action films, specifically American action films. But I'll have to look into the Carry On movies because, like I said, I've heard of them a little bit, but not enough to where I'm like, okay, I'm going to deep dive and like watch them. But there are some films going back to that time frame, 50s to 70s. There are some uh, films from that time frame that I have finally saw, like I like watched, I should say. I just watched Inherent the Wind. That had been on my watches for like a decade. And I loved that film. I thought that was great. And I almost forgot about the monkey trials. So thankfully, because I didn't really remember how the monkey trials ended, it was one of those things where I was kind of shocked with the ending. So, but I would highly recommend that film, especially if you like horror room films. It's really good. Cleopatra, as I already mentioned, I thought that was disappointing. I was just like, really, what, like, so long. There's another film though. What was the third one? Oh, Sweet Smell of Success, 1957 film. Um, that one I think is a good example of a film I already want to rewatch. But I also think that because of the Hayes Code, you can definitely tell that the Hayes Code was pulling the film back a little bit. I'd be kind of curious to see what that film would be like now if they were to remake it. Now, of course, it might not be as seedy, though I think that it could have been more seedy, but we'll see. But those are like the films from the 50s and 70s that I finally rewatched. Um, and then, of course, I rewatched Oppenheimer or some other ones. Um, oh, I watched The Watch, which that had been on my watch list for a long time. My wife hadn't seen it since like theaters. She's like, "Oh, you want to watch it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I haven't seen the movie, so why not? All I know is that it takes place in Costco, and I love Costco, so yeah, why not? But didn't think the movie was good, but I would recommend it for there's one joke involving a circle jerk. That scene alone, I was dying. I thought that was hilarious. But the movie itself is not good. Like I give it like a 2 out of 5, but for that scene alone, it's worth a watch. It happens towards the end. And I got an early screening of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Kind of felt mixed about that movie, unfortunately. I wanted to like it a lot because it's done in the same style of like the Spider-Man anime films that came out recently, but just very middle of the road, unfortunately. And then I might actually, I know I have kind of stopped doing movie reviews or I'll just do like random ones, but I am planning to actually do a review soon of the movie Strays because I'm actually going to be doing an early screening this Wednesday of it. And it's not being released until a little over 2 weeks from now. So I'm going to try to watch it and then review it and have it out for you guys. So that way, if you guys are interested in watching, you can get my thoughts. So that'll be something fun. And then what else? One second, guys. Oh, and I finally saw Bugsy um, with Warren Beatty. That movie was very interesting in that the first half I really wasn't that interested in, but the second half it came to life, and I actually loved the second half. It's interesting how a movie can do that to you, where it's like you're just not really into it at first, and then you really get into it, and by the end, you're like, oh wow, I feel kind of conflicted about it. It's good though. What are you gonna be watching next though, T Bob? I'm curious. So right now it's late with where I'm. Well, not late. It's like 10:13 with where I'm at. But part of me wants to just put in JFK and like rewatch it, especially just after Oppenheimer. Like watching that twice. Like I loved Oppenheimer, so I'm just like, oh, I just want to rewatch JFK now. But I'm also like, oh, it's 3 hours. I'd be up till one, so I was like, probably won't. But I'm also going to be going on a David Fincher binge because his new film, The Killer, which is my most anticipated film of 2023, it's coming out in November. So I was like, okay, well, it gives me an excuse to rewatch like a lot of his films. So I'm going to start with Seven, obviously. I'm so pumped for that. That's one of my favorite films of all time. So I can't wait to rewatch that. That'll probably be tomorrow when I rewatch that, I would say. And then I'll try to fit JFK. Maybe because I'm not going to watch it tonight. Maybe I'll watch it over the weekend soon. Excuse me. And then let's see what. Oh, 8 Mile. Finally saw 8 Mile. Not a big fan. Very middle of the road. T-Buff said 9. The Blu-ray of Evil Dead Rises, so probably that later on Thursday, but I'm definitely going to the cinema to see Oppenheimer. Oh, dude, nice. Have you seen Evil Dead Rises before? I did see Evil Dead Rises in theaters. I thought it was kind of mixed. Some elements I liked, some not so much. But Oppenheimer, dude, you're gonna love Oppenheimer. That film's great, man. It's so far my favorite film of the year. I thought Across the Spider Verse was gonna hold that for a while, but nah, Oppenheimer takes the cake, no question. 2007, I know I missed it in the cinemas, and the Blu-ray arrived today. Oh, dude, I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. Like, do you like the Evil Dead movies? And if so, what's your favorite one? I know Evil Dead 2 is, most people's go to. Oh, that reminds me. So, I just realized I couldn't find that's the director. Sorry, putting two together. Um, Full circle when I was talking about the directors that I was looking to finish off next year for. Sam Raimi's one of them. I have Darkman to watch. I just need to watch Darkman and then I can rank his films. And I'm looking forward to ranking Sam Raimi's films because he's a director that I think is very talented. I think will also be interesting to see everyone's different thoughts on his films. Um, T-Bob 798, Evil Dead 2, but 1 as well. My least favorite is the reboot, but even that's pretty good. Oh, yeah, they know probably like Evil Dead Rises because I think for me, I need to rewatch the series before I finalize this hot take. But I think for me, it's Army of the Dead, Evil Dead 2, The Evil Dead 2013, and then Evil Dead Rises or Rise. It's not to say Evil Dead Rise is bad. It's not. It's just I thought it was pretty safe in some categories. Other categories, it wasn't, which was nice. But I don't know. It wasn't as gory as I think that. Like I'm not like a gore hound, but I think that Evil Dead Rise could have been a lot more gory. Maybe I was just so into how gnarly the remake was, or the reboot, I should say, of the 2013 one. But I don't know. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. Like, once you follow me on Letterboxd, if you write a review or something, I'll be curious to read your reviews. Um, Darkman is really good. I watched it not long ago. It's aged well. That's good to hear. Was it on like a streaming service for you, or did you have to see all the seven C's? 'Cause that's my issue. I had AMC Plus for a while because on my cell plan it was free for a while, and then of course when Darkman went on AMC Plus, of course the free platform was no longer. So it was like one of those things where now I'm like, well, do I pay for AMC for a month or two so that way I can watch that, or see all the seven C's? T-Ball 79. It was on TV. Oh, nice, man. I don't have cable, so it's one of those things where it's like I either go to my local library, like put a whole go to my local library and go to the theater, um, or streaming. And then obviously I'm a huge physical media collector, like huge, huge. So, but I don't. I'm usually not a blind buyer. Although these days I have been blind buying Criterion's, but not too many. But I'm excited to watch Darkman because I think that's Liam Neeson and Francis McDormand. Could be wrong, but I like both, so I'm hoping it's good. It's interesting. Sam Raimi's career is interesting though because I feel like 2010s onward, he's had a very bumpy career, like doing like Oz the Great and Powerful, and then whatever Doctor Strange 2 was. I mean, it's interesting to just look at his career to see what it's gone. But I'm hoping he gets like another hit. So I do think that he is very talented. T-Bone 79. It has been so long. I didn't realize Frances McDormand was in it. Presumably because I didn't know who she was at the time. That's fair. Honestly, it's interesting to look at her career because she was in like a lot of stuff from the early '90s, and it was like nobody really knew who she was. I think it was Fargo. That was when people started being like, "Oh yeah, you betcha, I know who you are." And then it's like ever since then, it's like people know who she is. But yeah, I feel like Darkman came out around that time where it was like people didn't really know who she was, and also I think that without looking it up, I think 100% that she was in it because I know that Sam Raimi and the Coen brothers were like friends. So I'm pretty sure they used a lot of the same actors and actresses with each other's movies. So I think that that's it. I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure. I always like seeing that though. When like directors and actors work with each other, and it's like the directors are friends and they use each other as like actors. Coen brothers and Michael Bay do that. Not even kidding. Look it up. It's very interesting to see how many actors Michael Bay utilizes that were Coen brother actors. Actually insane. Excuse me. On another note, because I know when you guys think my channel, it's mostly movies. But on another note, you guys watching any good TV shows? I'll start off. I have 2 episodes left of The Bear, and if you haven't started watching The Bear yet, would highly recommend you check it out. It's really good, really really good. It's very uncut gems esque in terms of the way it's edited and the directing style. Would highly recommend. It's on Hulu. Really really good. I'm so excited to watch episode 9 and 10. Then once I do that, I'll probably post my review of season 1 and 2, spoiler free, of course. And then not too long ago, I also uh, watched The Idol, which was on HBO. I don't know if we're getting season 2 or not, but what a mixed bag of a show. Then I'm also watching Righteous Gemstones with my wife, which was a show that originally we were watching like week to week, but we just kind of got behind. So we'll have to probably binge watch pretty soon, like that third season. We're on, I think it's episode 4. It's good so far. It's good. I'm kind of curious how long that show is going to last, though. I feel like 4 or 5 seasons, maybe. That's what I suspect, at least. No TV shows, guys. Come on, there's got to be some TV show you guys that you guys are watching now. Nothing. You up 7 to 9. I've nearly finished that Anglo-French War of the World show with Gabriel Byrne. I think it's been out a while, but it's on Disney Plus over here now. Hmm. Actually, I haven't heard of that until you just mentioned that. Let's maybe check that out. I like the actor. Does sound interesting. Oh, Disney Plus, man. We had Disney Plus because of our cell carrier. They give us like free Disney Plus. But if we didn't have that, I don't think I would pay for it because there's just maybe when I have kids, maybe then it would definitely be like a certainty, but just frustrating because for me right now, the only reason why I have it, like besides that reasoning, is that I also want to rewatch 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is like a childhood favorite of mine. I haven't seen it in like a decade, and then also I want to try to actually give Daredevil a proper second chance because I only watched Daredevil season one, loved it. Season two, I only watched half of it, and then I heard that the second half is a lot better. And I heard season three is also incredible, so I should just watch it. Um, T-Bob 7 on 3 series, about 8 episodes each, so an easy watch. It's quite grim, but that's no bad thing. Oh yeah, agreed. Honestly, grim TV shows are kind of my wheelhouse. Like I like that kind of TV shows, like TV shows that aren't afraid to showcase the terrible nature of life. Sometimes I think it's something that makes it interesting, and also makes a show feel invigorating. Like you can't help but be intrigued when watching it, and that's something I respect in a show. TV show Dark is like that. Like Dark, it's in the title. It's very dark, but it's just reminiscent. That's really good. It's like a billion times better version of what's it called, Stranger Things. Because Dark at least knew when to end. No actual hate for the record on Stranger Things. I like it to an extent, even though I think it could have been one season. Just me. I know I'm in the minority with that take, but it's what it is. Excuse me. Getting old, guys. Yawning at 10:30 at night. I know T-Bow right now looks like you're the only one in the chat, but so I'll, put this for you, and then anyone that watches this or gets to this part later on, like on replay. I'm curious, what videos would you guys like to see me do? Um, just genuinely curious. Like I'll ask that question, then after that can end the stream because I know it is getting late. But yeah, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on like what video you would like to see me do. Because I know usually it's like, okay, I want to do something that you know that I like. I usually just kind of do my own thing, but I'm also like, oh, I'm kind of curious what they would want. So all ears. T-Ball sitting on a ranking of all 27 Carry On films. Oh boy. Oh man, that's tall order. I just get so much anxiety when I'm doing a ranking or thinking about doing a ranking, and it's like there's like zero films I've seen of the director or the series, and I'm just like, oh no, like I'm like, okay, maybe I just won't. won't do it, or won't do it for a while. That's how I felt with Alejandro Jodorowsky. Like for a long time, I hadn't seen any of his films, but I finally saw one of his films, and I was like, okay, well now that I've seen one, like I feel more comfortable and more like, hey, I think I can actually watch all of his films. Just will be a while. 27 Carry On films. Holy cow! What is it, the James Bond franchise? That's a lot. 27 films. Can't get over that. There was a Bond spoof called Carry On Spy. Oh my goodness. It's actually kind of interesting how the James Bond franchise, it's so popular, but it's also so popular that it gets parodied to death. Very interesting. T-Bob said, I believe it predates the original Casino Royale. Oh, wow. So it's like what, the early 60s, I'm assuming? Yeah. Another yawn, jeez. Getting old. On a side note, it is kind of crazy how, with getting older with each passing year because I'm like thinking right now, I'm like, wow, 4 or 5 years ago, like around midnight, I would get home from doing a doubleheader or triple header, and then I would do reviews for all three of those films. And I'm like, now I'm like, it's 10:30. I don't know how I did that. So if I did that now, I'd be like, you know, this, on a more serious note, a director ranking a John Woo would be cool. I think I've seen someone say that, like mention that before, and it's not a bad idea. Except I'm pretty sure he's done a lot of films, and if that's the case, it's going to be a while before I'm able to say that. Hey, I've watched all his films, but I it really should because John Woo's a director where it's like there's so many of his films where it's been on my watch list for a long time. Like for example, Face Off. I still haven't seen Face Off. How? I don't know, but I haven't. you know, Wind Talkers I haven't seen. Like there's just there's a lot of his films I haven't seen. I finally saw Red Cliff though. Red Cliff was incredible, man. And I watched the abridged version. I didn't even watch like the 4 hour version, the one that the director meant. I accidentally saw the abridged version, and it was great. So I can only imagine how the part one and two is. What a film! If you get a chance, everyone's watching. Watch Red Cliff. It's so good. Ooh, also, sorry, completely different note. I just realized I forgot to mention this too. Recently, I was on a podcast and I put the link actually in the live stream, but the channel, sorry, off the top of my head, Film Fanatics. I was on Film Fanatics podcast. They reached out to me, I think it was like a month or two ago, but they reached out to me, and so I was on their channel, and you guys can check out the link down below of I was on their channel and talked about like Indiana Jones, the writer strike, stuff like that. Had a good time on their channel. I really did. So, if you get a chance, make sure to check out their channel. Tell them that I sent you. Really good guys. I think you'll like them. So, just want to throw that out there because that was a lot of fun. It was kind of funny though because there was three of them, and I was the only one that didn't like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So it was kind of interesting to see the dynamic. But I still stand by it. Dial of Destiny, phew, not good. Not good at all. Wanted to like that film too. Oh, excuse me. All right, guys. So been an hour stream, so I'll call it a night. But call it a night. But I just wanted to say I really do appreciate you guys. For coming in. If you're replaying this, meaning like after the fact that it's the live stream, you're watching it then. Appreciate you guys' support as always. Um, really appreciate all. What are we at? 1,053 subscribers. Appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys really are the best. Skynet Gen, the live stream, you hack fraud. How to get my numbers up, man? Yeah, but in all seriousness, Skynet Gen, it's been a while since I've done one. So I was like, oh, I'll do one. As I was telling them, I was like, it's getting late, and I'm an old man these days. So I was like, I don't know how long I'll be able to last. That's what she said. But I also told them about how you and I collaborated and how our director ranking list will be released in December. So, which was a lot of fun to film. And it's going to be interesting to see people's reactions to both of our ranking for sure. No question about it. All right, guys. Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the subscription notification bell if you haven't done so already. And also, of course, follow me down at Letterboxd, links down below. And also, check out the podcast that I was on recently, also down below. And I will catch you guys later.